What's going on, beautiful people? It's your boy here, Wesley from A Connection TV here on YouTube, the one place on the World Wide Web where we actually adopt similar connections despite our differences. And welcome to my channel. If this is your first time seeing me, I don't know why, but do me a solid. Go to my Instagram and Twitter and follow your boy at A Connection TV, and definitely do me another solid and subscribe and click that like button on this video because it is free to do. And also leave comments. The more engagement, the more my video will be seen, and that will help your boy out. I am here to review, not report on, the challenge. Episode 12, entitled Frenemy with Benefits. What is it called? Hold on one second. Frenemy of the State. And just by the title alone, you already know what it's going to be. It's a man's elimination, and I feel like it's gonna be some friends going up against each other. And what friends are really left in this game that are like known? Nelson and Fessel. Yeah, this is gonna be an interesting review. So last week, my girl Nurys got ousted by Amber. Amber came through. I like Amber, she dope. I don't have any problems with her. But I like Nurys better because she's tied to Nelson, and I want Nelson to get to the end. Right? So it's just, it is what it is. We then get these clips of Jordan and Nelly missing their girl Nurys, just like, I'm missing my girl Nurys, and I'm like, I understand y'all. Then we get Chauncey, which, by the way, I have to tell y'all, baby, practically the whole entire cast and crew got an OnlyFans on the challenge, and Chauncey got an OnlyFans, and God dang, that's all I'm gonna say, baby. That's all I'm gonna say. So Chauncey is in the bed. No, they're not in the bed at this point. They're somewhere in the room because now I'm confused now. That my mind just went to Chauncey's OnlyFans. Anyways, Chauncey and Amber are, talking, Chauncey's bigging her up, like, I'm so glad you won, and I've been waiting for a physical challenge and physical elimination, and there you go, you win a physical elimination, and you my baby, and oh, I'm so glad you're back, and I was about to throw these flowers out if you wasn't coming back, and all this stuff, or whatever. And then Amber comes on the screen, and she's like, yeah, well, I need to win this money so we can start a family and all this other stuff. And I'm like, okay, that's cute. Okay. Johnny and Nany, oh, that rhymes, have this conversation about how their ride or dies and they can't believe that they've made it this far. And even though they're on separate teams, Johnny's mission is to make sure that Nany gets to the end and gets that W, and he's gonna do whatever it takes to get her there. And then Nany is like, oh my God, there is no one else in this whole wide world that I would rather be here with than you. And I'm like, didn't you say that to Leroy once upon a time? Even though Leroy got his barbershop and, they are real parents now. They are like, if Leroy or Cam ever come back, they'll be on All Stars. They are getting older and setting into their family roots and ways, and Cam done put on some pounds, and Leroy done put on some daddy pounds, and he got the full beard and the facial hair looking like someone on a black movie from BET, and I'm like, they done grewed up, baby. They done grewed up. But Nany is confessing and professing her love to Johnny. Nany and Johnny. I just realized that rhymed, but I'm sure y'all knew that way before I did, but that's cute. Segue, I just have to let y'all know I'm wearing one of my shirts, baby. Bold, suave, and tasty, baby. Go to my online clothing store, actvshop.com. There are so many shirts on there, not just this one. We got shirts, we got hoodies, we got other merch, so definitely go and support. If you don't want to subscribe to watch ACTV, you can support by that way, by wearing the clothing, because everybody needs a shirt, everybody needs a hoodie, so definitely tune in. I know a lot of you all out there are bold, suave, and tasty. Nelly speaks to Corey, and it's setting the tone for me, because we haven't really seen too many one-on-one outside, communication calls to the people outside the game, really. And so the fact that Nelson gets a call on this particular episode, I'm like, okay, he going home. And then it's Corey, I'm like, okay, he going home. And I don't want Nelson to be like the next Leroy, or for that matter, the next Corey. But it's just like, dang, he just always getting the end of the stick. And it is what it is. Like, oh my God, like, I'm so annoyed. But immediately he comes on the phone somewhat kind of feeling some sort of way. And Corey immediately is like, nope, I don't want to hear it. You're gonna get this W. You gotta get out. You gotta get out Johnny, and you gotta get out Fessy. And when he said that, in my mind, I'm like, don't Corey know that him and Fessy cool? Or were they not cool outside of everything? I know Corey been doing the boxing and taking his family, and all this extra stuff outside of the show. But I'm like, do he not really know what's good? And apparently, according to the videotape, he doesn't, because Nelly's like, you're gonna be mad at me because me and Fessy kind of like teamed up and blah, 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 blah. And he like, what? You teamed up with the enemy? And I'm like, okay, here we go. There's a lot of foreshadowing going on here. You know, it's about to be a Nelly versus Fessy kind of ordeal, and I'm already getting annoyed. But I'm like, okay, that's dope that Corey is like me. Like, why you messing with Fessy? You know what I'm saying? And it's all gonna come to bite him back in the butt. He saved Fessy, even though Fessy probably wouldn't have lost. I don't know. He saved Fessy, and it's like, well, then again, he had Mariah. I don't know. He could have lost the other time, but he saved Fessy only to have. Anyways, I'm annoyed throughout this whole episode because there's a lot of foreshadowing going on. Then right after that, you got, Nelly saying why he's been playing the game and his relationship with his mom and how he needs the money and all this. I'm like, okay, yeah, he going home. All right, we get it, editors. He's going home. And then Jordan comes on, because he's doing philanthropy work and, volunteer work in Ukraine, and 75 tons of shipments been sent out, and he's saved over 300 people, and they're fighting the good fight and all that stuff. I'm like, okay. So this episode is about to be about Fessy, Nelson, and Jordan. Something along them lines, something's gonna happen with these folks because they getting way too much camera time right now. And I will say that I commend Jordan for even going out there and doing all of that. You know what I'm saying? Because those are hostile environments. But that's just it. All respect. And Jordan gets a lot of my respect and a lot of my reviews all of the time. I definitely respect Jordan. Fessy and Mariah have an interesting conversation where Fessy is like, okay, are you going to help me win since it's a guy's day? And Mariah's like, well, you didn't help me win on a women's day last week. And Fessy says to her, well, you didn't come and ask me to help. I'm like, what? And then right after that, Fessy is in his confessional, was like, well, I'm pretty sure that Mariah is still grateful to me for all that I've done for her. What? This man, this is why I have an issue with him. And I don't even need to know him personally, but he has nothing to stand on in the challenge. His history in the challenge, he just has nothing profound to stand on. And that's why I don't like when these people be winning, you know what I'm saying? I don't like people like him winning. I don't like people like Johnny winning. They don't have anything of substance worth standing on. Yeah, they can use the money. Yeah, they can help pay for their mom over here, pay for something over here. But the way they play the game is just straight trash. And I just don't respect it. I don't appreciate it. And I hate the way Fessy thinks of himself. He swears he's God it's just so annoying to me. I'm pretty sure, well, Mariah should be still grateful for me. What? What? The Mariah team underdogs, teams, because I'm a freaking dog. Okay. They're having a conversation. And then in my mind, I feel like, maybe I could be wrong, I feel like there was some animosity between, Mariah, Nany, and Amber. The girls went against Amber, and Amber came back. So Devin was like, yeah, let me reel this in real quick. Let this be a Devin moment on the TV. You ready? Producer Bob, let's go. And so, they have their moment. And it brought them together. Devin was speaking facts, but you're a dog, you're a dog, you're a dog, he's a dog, I'm a dog, we're all dogs, we are dogs. I'm like, yeah, okay. All right, whatever helps y'all get the mojo flowing. We get to this helicopter, hang off the helicopter, swim or dive into these portals in the helicopter water kind of thing. And at the end of the day, the Fessy teams loses. But the highlights for this challenge was Nelly swinging all around, swing because he grabbed it the wrong way. He's swinging all around. Regardless, they still made the points. They still got the max points, which was great. The flaw in Fessy's team was when Fessy asked Johnny, should I go help them? And Johnny said no. So that was the lag behind. Fessy is a great swimmer, and Fessy did not go to the back of the line to help the girls. And Tori and Casey took forever to get back. That's where they effed up. Then, you know, team underdogs come through, they perform, and immediately, I think it was Amber and Jordan jumped in the water. I think. I could be, no, Horacio and Jordan jumped in the water, I think. And Jordan immediately swims back to go help his girls to come through. They only had a 2-second lead up. And I'm like, I don't know, that seemed a little fugazi to me. That seemed a little producer created to me. Just 2 seconds. I don't know. But anyway, Mariah teams wins. One of the highlights from Mariah's team, outside of Jordan going back to get the girls, was the way that Jordan held on the longest with his arms like that, hold it on, and then he drops and he still makes the goal. Jordan is a beast. He can be an a-hole when he wants to be, but Jordan is a beast and you cannot deny that. We already know the writing's on the wall like Destiny's Child, right? Nelson is already feeling it and he's reading the writing on the wall. And he's like, you know, I put everybody in, so I'm pretty sure they're gonna vote me in as the main vote. I mean, it's only right, you know, I put everybody in, and I have a feeling they're gonna pit us up against each other, pretty much. And Fessy is like, yeah, well, it is what it is. We just gotta go in and win. I don't even want to think about it like that. We just got to do what we got to do. And no matter what, we got to go in and win. I'm like, this dude, that's all he cares about is winning. All he cares about is winning. That's all he cares about is winning. That's all he cared about when he went up against Nelson. That's all he cares about. You know, I remember one certain somebody by the name of Nelson. I would, y'all could correct me if I'm wrong. He threw himself on the sword for Corey so that Corey can do what he needed to do and get further in the game or something like that. I could be wrong. And I think Corey returned the favor the next time and did the thing for Nelson. Something like that happened. I know something like that happened. And in my mind, I'm like, Fessy ain't no way in hell gonna do something like that for Nelson. Fessy would never. Fessy would never. And his whole demeanor and attitude is like, oh, well, hey, it is what it is. You know, you gotta do what we gotta do. All I'm here to do is win. I'm like, this dude just... So it makes sense because Nelson has already proven to everyone else that Fessy is his ride or die, his second ride or die after Nurys, because Nelson saved Fessy, okay? Up against a girl that clearly had his back and clearly would have had his back regardless, right? And so we already know the writing's on the wall. And so Chauncey and Johnny are like, well, you know, we got to do what we got to do. If I go in and pull the dagger, I'm saving you and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay. Fessy and Nelson are going in, period. It is what it is. It is what it is. We get to the interrogation and I just have to say, you know, everybody for the most part wants Nelson to go in. Because Nelson has wronged so many people on that side. I understand that. Amber wants Nelson to go in. Horacio was cool either way because everybody done threw him into elimination. He could care less. You know, but when we get to speaking to the people, Chauncey doesn't say a name. And I'm like, wow, Chauncey does not say a name, okay? Nelson goes and he's like, well, you know, no matter who I go against, anybody, I could beat anybody in there. At first, he wasn't gonna say a name. But then at the end, he's like, I could beat anybody in there. I'm like, what? No, you can't. No, you can't. To be honest, all y'all are equally yoked. Outside of Fessy being an edge better than, you know, the other three of y'all, I would love to see Chauncey and then Fessy go on a hall brawl. I would love to see that. I just want to see that. I want to see that. I really do. Because Fessy needs to get knocked into place. And I'm not saying Chauncey has the greatest chance in the world to do that, but Fessy just needs to get knocked into place by somebody. Can there be somebody, a man out there that can knock some sense into him, some humbleness into him? Jordan talks to Fessy in hopes that, you know, his name won't be the main vote. Jordan alludes to him saving Fessy, but Jordan does say, I don't know, I'm not gonna guarantee it, but, you know, I'll take heed to what you're saying or whatever. So in my mind, Jordan didn't confirm anything with Fessy. And so, you know, there's rumblings around the house and, you know, Tori has to stick her neck out for her team because she doesn't want Fessy to go anywhere because Fessy's on her team. And, you know, Tori approaches Jordan and is like, well, you know what? I stuck my neck out for you. Mind you, no one asked her to. Jordan was rude as AF to her during that whole period of her sticking her neck out for him. No one asked you to do that, Tori. And you put yourself in that position for no reason. And so now she's trying to use that as the trump card to come back. Jordan don't care about you. He's been effing another chick in your face. I don't even know why you think you even got the pull to even do any of this. He didn't ask you to do what you did for him. And so in my mind, I'm like, Tori dumb. Tori dumb. Granted, yes, you don't want Fessy to go in. I get it. But Jordan owes you nothing. And so Jordan takes this opportunity to hold this over or allow this interaction with Tori to be the decision factor into actually putting Fessy in. And he goes, I don't consort with terrorists. I don't negotiate with terrorists. I'm like, Jordan is so, like, he's such a drama queen. Anyway, Jordan goes up against Nelson. Nelson gets his home, and I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted by how it went down. I'm disgusted that Fessy doesn't care. And like, they just don't care. They don't care. Devin's like, oh, this will be evil. But they just don't, like, nobody cares. I don't know. I feel like, you know what? No matter what Nelson does, every season, Nelson has proven that he can be a good guy. And, you know, yes, Nelson threw in Amber. Yes, Nelson threw in Horacio. All of that stuff. But that in and of itself is the name of the game. I feel like Nelson should have never went against Amber though, because clearly that bit him in the butt. Nelson told Amber that, hey, I got you, and this and that and the third, and he shouldn't have did that. And so, you know, it just sucks. It really does suck. Nelson gets sent home. And then of course, you know, Nurys is there. Nurys comes out and I'm like, damn, man, that just sucks. Like, you know, because Nelson is out, they both got to go home. And I don't know. Nelson was a true sport trying to get through it. You know, he didn't want to go against his ride or die and friend or whatever. I get all of that. But it truly sucks. It truly, truly sucks. And you know what? I really feel like, for me, I don't know, because Casey and Nany went against each other and Casey sent Nany home. Okay, but I don't know. This dude, I feel like Nelson saved Fessy so many times. Fessy should have just waved the flag. But there's no way on God's green earth that Fessy was going to do that, because he just doesn't care that much. He just doesn't care that much. And I don't know, it just sucks. I feel like Nelson just gets played every season. Every season Nelson just gets played. But if he would have, the only thing Nelson could have did differently in this particular situation is never gone against Amber and Chauncey. Never made that a thing. He should have never made that a thing. I don't know why he made that a thing, but he should have never made that a thing, because now look what happened. Anyways, leave your comments below. Let me know what you think about this particular episode. Are you upset that Nelson went home? Yeah, I am. Also, again, go get this shirt. It's on actvshop.com. Bold, suave, and tasty. I know you are. Deuces, leave your comments below. Let me know what you thought. Love y'all.